Hey guys, Mherex here, bringing you a video about faction feud prep today. It's just going to be a short-ish one, going to cover a few things, not necessarily telling you who to use, but maybe some of the guys you might consider if you have them leveled. So let's kind of get into it. So one thing I see a lot in Feud is people bringing way too big a roster. Which is fine if you have the guys and if they're using the right trainers and they're all really good guys. But if you fill every single row and you don't have guys taking advantage of the bonuses and stuff, really you're just begging to run into a massive roster, and you're gonna eat it, and you're not gonna have any fun, and you're gonna blow a bunch of health packs, and you're gonna take all day to win. If you win, which you probably won't, and then your line mate is going to be mad at you, and no one wants to see that. So first thing I'd say is, if you can't fill these lines smartly, don't fill them. Pick one line and go with the one line. If you can fill them well, you go ahead and go with two lines, and if you're that person that can have everyone running properly, go ahead and fill it all. So that's kind of first things first to start. Pick guys that don't double up on MP trainers. Use them, that kind of thing. You be turn one as much as you can. Have a sub guy, have a stun guy. If certain guys in feud give you problems, have someone to counter them. So first things we're going to do really is talk about the slots and who might be good in them. So the powerhouse slot on the top row, this row the bonus is starting MP +2 and +2 multiply gem generation. This bonus is just begging for Hogan. His double black move, it's going to start +2, and you're going to get extra multiply gem generation and that stuff. This is a Hogan line. So Hogan and Sheik are the two powerhouses you could use. Sheik would also benefit from the line bonus because he's going to get 2 extra starting MP. And then the acro slot, it's modern acrobats. So guys, and when I talk about going through this, the guys that you can use in some of these slots, I am not saying to use those guys. What I am saying is these guys will benefit from the line bonus. So modern acro, you're pretty much talking your Andrade, Ricochet, Z-Taker, Jeff, Jimmy, Tozawa. Those are guys that all have some multiply gems and can benefit from the row bonus. So those are guys that you might use in that slot. And if you look at mine, I have guys that I won't be talking about in my feud roster, guys that don't necessarily benefit from the row damage, the row bonus. So I'm not always saying to use guys that benefit from it. However, if you can use guys that benefit from it, it just makes them that much stronger. So if you're using a couple of 4-star bronze guys or a 4-star silver that doesn't have a bonus, and you happen to have another one that does, maybe you should go that route. Just a thought. So for this row here, it's new gen techs. So these are the 3 you're looking at being able to use: Doink, Brett, or Perfect. Line bonus does not help any of them, so whichever one you like the most, go ahead and use. This slot is actually going to be pretty important in my opinion. There's a lot of guys that can do a lot of good work for you here. So the big ones that are going to benefit are going to be your NWO Hall for the row and column break bonus. Hall has a black MP steal, so he's going to counter guys like Hogan running double black, and Aleister Black on the bottom row running double black for bleed sub builds. So those are 2 guys you'll probably see a bunch that he'll counter pretty effectively. So he's one you might use. Nash has got a red MP steal, and he's making the column breaks. so he's going to benefit, and he can steal some red MP. Trick Rock might get ran in the bottom row with the bleed bonus, and he's got some red, so you could possibly be using Nash there. 6 is going to be quite valuable with his purple MP steal, and then he's got the row breaks and stuff too. So for 6, and he'll benefit from the row bonus. He's going to steal purple, so your Z Austins, your Fiend, who's got basically a line bonus set up just for Fiend. You know, Acro Eddie, if somebody's using Acro Eddie in the Mexican slot in the bottom. Doink's got a couple purples, so 6 is going to be pretty valuable in that slot. 6 and Hall both will do really well. Of course, big sexy Kevin Nash is going to benefit from the row bonus, and then Trickster Macho, NWO Macho. Those are the guys that would benefit from that row. Again, you could use other guys. I'm just saying that can boost their potential. Hall of Fame slot, it is what it is. You probably don't have a lot of options. You maybe have one option. You maybe have none. So, you know, Hall, Booker T, Eddie, Sting, those are pretty much your choices there. Moving to the bottom row, a lot of interesting possibilities here. You got the 200% bleed damage and multi-gem strengths +2. This is probably the row everyone can fill. So if you can't fill these other rows, don't bring a bunch of extra guys. Maybe you just add like one of your NWO guys in here to steal MP. This is the row you should focus on. Try and take advantage of the bonus if you can. Now, I say that, and you can see the only one that I have that will be is Andrade. But every one of these guys, so Andrade is going to be turn 1, Z-Rock will be turn 1, Kane will be turn 1. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. Matt's going to use Steel. He won't be turn 1, but he'll be turn 2. So yeah, this one is going to be your modern slot. So some guys with bleed or multi-gem in the modern slot. You're talking Z Balor has one. I could use him over Z-Rock, but my goal is kind of to get that stun out early and counter some of those hard guys with the stun on him. So Z Balor has got some bleed. Zombie Brock has got some big bleed. If you got a 4-star gold Zombie Brock, you definitely should probably use him in this slot. He also has purple MP steal, so a lot of utility there. He would be one I would certainly be looking at for that slot. Drew, if you want to gamble with his big bleed move, add 200% to it. If it ticks, you're pretty much guaranteed you're draining him basically all the way. If you happen to have your zombie Kevin Owens leveled way up, his bleeds are really nasty. He'd be pretty solid in that line. Striker Balor has a bleed. Luke Harper will really benefit from the multi-gems. Only thing with multi-gems is be careful who you're fighting, because the multi-gem coaches can really nerf those guys. So Harper will be particularly nasty this feud. And then we talked about it a little bit earlier, Tech Black. He has the black bleed and the sub, so he could potentially benefit from that. Fiend also benefits in this slot, but if you have Fiend, you should really use him in the next one for Showboat. And I mean, I could have missed some guys in here, but those are all guys that would take advantage of that line bonus. So if you have them and they're leveled up, you might consider them. So then we have the modern Showboat slot. And I'm running Matt. I might run Dango. It just depends on my MP trainer usage, and who's going to need the purple I would put on Dango. I actually don't think anyone does. So if I stick with this, I'll change that out to Dango, to be perfectly honest, because he's much, much better than Matt, at least for me. This is the Fiend slot. If you have Fiend, this is the spot to use him. If you don't have Fiend, there's really no one else to talk about. Use your best modern Showboat, and good luck. But So this attitude slot here, a lot of options here. Well, actually not a lot. A lot of options you could use, but not a lot take advantage of the bonus. NWO Brett, take advantage of that slot with the multi-gems. Anvil, and then Trick Rock with the bleed. So you could run Anvil, you could run Trick Rock with the bleed, and you'd take advantage of that line bonus. Trick Rock also has red MP steal, so some utility there. Again, a lot of other guys you could potentially use. I think most people are going to probably be sticking Z Austin in that slot, so have something to counter Z Austin. And the last slot is the Mexican slot. So if you have any of these guys leveled up, Andrade will take advantage of the bonus. Ray, Callisto, and Sin Cara all would. Eddie wouldn't take advantage of the bonus, but he'd be, another great option if you don't have one of the other guys leveled up. So again, when I'm saying to do this, or these guys potentially are good there, doesn't mean to use them for sure. You can see where my Sin Cara and Callisto are at. It just doesn't make sense to use them over Eddie if I didn't have Andrade. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about this stuff, guys. So you definitely want to pick smart lineups. Don't necessarily go big. I could easily fill this top one. I could stick Eddie down here, Andrade up here, Sheik here, and fill the top one. I just don't know if I want to go in that high, because I really don't want to see a bunch of lineups featuring Hogan and Fiend and a bunch of other good times. The bottom row, like if you have Tech Black and you have Fiend, there's a bunch of bleed there. So yeah, Zombie Brock is going to be pretty dirty down there. So those are a couple things to think about when you're filling your roster. Also, the perks that are available. I only have the MP perk. I only have one. They're pretty expensive, so typically I only run one. If I was going to pick more, the multi-gem perk and the column and row break perk would just further enhance these line bonuses. In particular, this multi-gem one is going to be pretty crazy. If I unlock this one, I definitely move Andrade to the top spot, run his yellow move that makes a bunch of multis. But like this on Harper, going to be pretty crazy if you have Harper. You're talking 2 times increase on the multi-gem strengths, and he's creating 3 more every turn. So that might be a perk you look to unlock. And again, I'm not saying these are the only 3 perks to look at, but they enhance your line bonus quite a bit. So yeah, they would definitely be worth using. So what else? I really think those are the big things. My game decided to crash, so that's cool. But we covered most of it. It'll pop back in here. Not that it's a particularly big deal. So yeah, pick some guys. The row and column are going to be great too for Nash, NWO Nash, Hall, and Six. So just try and be smart with your lineup. Don't necessarily go in as big as you can. Bigger isn't always better. And have some fun this feud. But be smart with your lineup, and hopefully this helps a little bit. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If hopefully run into you guys in feud. If I do, let me know. But yeah, have a good feud, guys. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch you in the game. Thanks.